Hi, and welcome to the Fairy Godmothers Pod of Wisdom and Knowledge. I'm Reverend Elizabeth Howell, and with me is...
Reverend Cynthia, Elizabeth's cohort, comrade in crime.
Yeah, yes, you are. Definitely, we are. Always seems to find a way to get into trouble. In a good way, good trouble. Today, I think we're on our 5th show. Pretty excited. Maybe
Yeah,
fifth
that
or
sounds
so,
about
yeah.
right. I should keep better tabs on this thing.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Well, hopefully everybody got through your Halloween, and we got through the first important hurdle in the first week of November, and hope everyone is doing well and taking deep breaths.
Lots of deep breaths.
Lots of deep breaths. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the Cosmic Traffic Report for the last 2 weeks of November. But first off, just to remind everyone that November 15th, we are going to have a full moon at 24 degrees Taurus, and that is going to be at 4:28 p.m. So full moons are always a wonderful time to, it's just very good energy, it's wishes and dreams. Full moons are also when people kind of act a little more crazy, the ER's rooms get full, and basically people do become, like, it's kind of a joke, lunatics.
Well, that's where the word comes from.
Yeah.
The Luna in lunatics represents the moon.
Yeah, so some people are more affected by the moon than others, but a lot of times we just say it's wishes and dreams. It's a good time to have, set some intent with the universe. That's why I like the full moon.
Yeah,
but
you
also,
like to howl too as the white wolf,
Yeah, I do have a tendency to do that, or scream.
Well, whatever the situation, requires.
Correct. Well, also on November 15th, we are going to have Saturn, and that's going to go, the planet Saturn is going to go direct at 12 degrees Pisces, and that's going to be at 9:21 a.m. Now, the planet of, Saturn is a planet of limitations, restrictions, frustrations. It's also of karma, and it's also the teacher planet. And now that it's been retrograding, which means it's been going backwards, and now it's going to go forwards. And that's going to let a lot of energy release for the Pisces, the Virgos, and the Geminis and the Sagittarians. So what it's done is it's revisited everyone for the past month and a half, and now moving forward, it's going to be like a floodgate of energy kind of opening up. So definitely the Pisces and the Virgos are going to feel it very strongly. Now, November 16th, the sun will oppose the planet Uranus, and that's going to be a Scorpio-Taurus energy, and that's going to be at 9:44 p.m. And now this transit brings in a very, like a rush, impulsive energy for the day and into the evening and into the next day. So we may want to do things like our way, and we may act out in practical ways. This can be also a time of accident prone. Now, when I say accident prone, usually it's like little accidents, like, you're cutting an onion and you kind of, cut yourself or something like that, or you trip. But it is a time of caution. And so you want to be careful when you're walking or driving or going up and down steps or things like that. Also, our willpower is going to be getting tested for the day and night and the next day. So most of us are going to feel like outspoken. We want to tell people directly what we feel or think, and we got to be careful of their people's feelings and emotions at that point. So this definitely will be challenging for the Tauruses, the Scorpios, the Leos, and the Aquarians. November 18th, Mercury, the planet of communications, travel, the planet of how we think and process information, will oppose the planet Jupiter at 18 degrees Sagittarius Gemini, and that will be at 3:55 a.m. Now this transit will bring in also another day of impulsive energy, but a lot of pomp and bluster, I call it. We may feel impatient with our situations and try to force our way through by taking shortcuts with everything. Our intentions may be better than our actions at this point. We all may also have difficulty kind of just staying focused and communicating on that day. So watch, particularly, it's going to be challenging for the Sagittarius, the Geminis, the Pisces, and the Virgos once again. Now, November 19th, Pluto will re-enter into the sign of Aquarius, and this is going to be a big deal. Now, why is this a big deal? Is because Pluto, the planetoid, has been bouncing in and out of Aquarius and Capricorn for the past, 2 years. It is now going to move into the sign of Aquarius, and it's not looking back. It will stay into the sign of Aquarius until 2043. So it's going to ride from 0 degrees up to 29 degrees in that time period, and it will affect all the fixed signs. So it's going to affect the Tauruses, the Scorpios, the Leos, and the Taurus, Scorpio, Leo.
Don't look at me.
It's just dropped on my head. But the fixed signs. And so definitely the Aquarians are going to feel it. And it is an age of Aquarius, okay? It's now officially, we're going to say this is the age of Aquarius. Now, some people have a disagreement with that. But because Pluto is the planet of endings, death, transformation, it's a transformative planet. It's not a physical death. It is going to be a big change. There's changes coming. The last time it was in the sign of Aquarius was over 300 years ago. We had all kinds of inventions taking place. We started to have like new science and new projects and new things. So we'll see how the experiment goes.
Cool.
We'll see how the experiment goes. November 21st, the sun enters the sign of Sagittarius at 2:56 p.m. Happy birthday, Sag!
Woohoo!
Happy birthday, guys. And finally, November 25th, Mercury will go retrograde. Do, do, do. That's when we need music.
I didn't find that button.
Oh, okay. Because Mercury retrogrades, it's going to retrograde at 22 degrees Sagittarius at 9:42 p.m. Now, the planet of communication, when it begins to move backwards, it's basically what we call the Doppler effect. It really doesn't move backwards. It just appears in the sky to move backwards, a backward motion. And it will stay in a backwards motion until December 15th. So right before Christmas, it goes direct. Usually a retrograde is a time to rehash, rewind, go back over, redo. It is not a good time for travel. It is not a good time to start a job or a new job or a business. It's not a good time to sign contracts. It's not a good time to be in court. So these are all things to consider. Now, I don't tell people to put your life on hold because of a Mercury retrograde, but I do give you a caution. It also is a time for you to go inward. Give yourself plenty of time to get where you want to go, to travel. Be more cautious when traveling. This is a time when you can lose luggage. Be careful with, like, if you're booking airplanes, watch that, because it can be where, you miss your connections or your luggage gets lost, stuff like that. It is also a time of miscommunications. So we have to be more careful with what we say, because people may have a tendency to misunderstand us. Mercury retrogrades also deal with communication in general. So it deals with computers, it deals with the post office, it deals with getting something sent to someone. But it's going to be a little bit of a rough time for the Sagittarians, and it's definitely going to be challenging for the Geminis, the Pisces, and the Virgo. So you guys, I want you all to take a deep breath, and we'll get through this together. So remember, it goes direct December 15th. So that is the Cosmic Traffic Report.
And I've decided to do something a little different. Instead of, going deeply into an animal, I think we're going to do 3-card draw for that time period. And so it will be a kind of like a reading, like your cosmic traffic report for that particular time for the end of November. And I'm going to get my 3 cards out here. Okay, now I got the cougar, the chimpanzee, and the boar. I'm going to start in the middle with the chimpanzee as what the current energy is going to be. And the chimpanzee is about family and staying within your group or your tribe. It's also about using your intuition as well as your intellect, trying to find a way to integrate the two so that you're not one-sided or the other. So right now, that time period is really going to be about being balanced and about family and kin. Of course, we're looking at Thanksgiving, so that really kind of falls in there. Now, in the energy before that with the cougar, we have what gets us to this point. And we have the cougars about having confidence. It's about being bold and taking charge of what needs to be done. And that makes for a better family experience if we take charge of the situation. Everybody knows who's bringing what to the table. And also with the big cats, there's always a point of being patient, because if you wait too long, your prey wanders away. If you pop out too soon, you can't catch your prey because it gets away ahead of you. Sorry, can't make my mouth work today. So, what is the right time to say what you need to say to the family, or the right time to show up with the gifts or your advice or whatever? And be sure to ask too if somebody actually wants to hear what you have to say. And then where we're going to go after that, what's going to be the result of all of this, we go into the boar, which talks about working within honor. Boars also have a very good sense of smell, so you'll be able to, listen to things and smell. Do things smell right? Does something smell fishy? Pay attention
Like
to
the
those.
turkey?
Oh yeah, well, God, I hope the turkey doesn't smell fishy. That would be a problem.
That'd be a problem.
Maybe in that turducken thing.
Yeah,
they can end. We have a fish in there, and we have a turduckenish in.
No.
Start
Just unappetizing. But yeah, everything
But-
smells, huh?
Yeah, so that's kind of what I've got for that time period, if that makes any sense for people. And I would also say that if you're listening to this at a time that is not, is after November, maybe there's something in that message that is current and right for you, and that's why you're listening to this now.
There you go. Well, thank you. And we have a guest today. Someone has called in. We have Sandy G on the phone. Sandy.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Well, Elizabeth, how are you?
I'm well. I'm well. Thank you for calling in. I had posted on Facebook, and you were the first person to respond. I think it was at 6:50 this morning or something.
Go figure, right?
Yeah. Go figure. We're both up, right?
Right.
So you're the first response. So that is why you are on calling in today. So we wanted to give you a reading. We wanted to show people about, share our readings and share, how it works. Sandy, you're done this before a little bit, but I got your birth date from you. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and jump into the reading, because you know how I am. I don't need you to ask any questions. I'm just going to pick up your energy over the phone. And
Okay.
and then I'm going to we'll go into the reading really quick, and I'm just going to say right now, Sandy, I am picking up, it's been a little bit of a struggle, you're a Cancerian, and it's been just a little bit of a struggle. And, you've been looking at, the first card that comes up is about work, but it's also about the future. It's about you looking for something to do with your energy. So it doesn't necessarily mean work, but, something that you want to apply yourself to. So you may be kind of thinking, should I, what am I doing with my work situation? Do I, what do I do with my energy? So that's a big question. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the other thing is there is a little bit crossing you, which is the Justice card. And when the Justice card crosses you, it means that something has been unfair. It means something has been or deemed unfair. Something has been feels unfair in your life, and it's still a burden. It's still something that you feel it's not stopping you from moving forward, but it's a challenge. It's a challenge to let go of that energy and to move away from that energy. I see a lot right now where you're focused on a little bit on money, and I think that who isn't these days focused on money. But I feel like you have some good news coming in. So are you working right now, or are you looking for a job?
No, I took a little early retirement, and I'm doing well. It's just not sure exactly what I'm going to do, if anything.
Okay. So what this tells me is that you're going to be receiving some kind of phone call, an email. Someone might be getting hold of you about doing something. Now, it could be volunteering. It could be helping out someplace. It doesn't necessarily denote like a full-time job. So, I mean, it doesn't to me feel like you're going to be, I'm going to go back to, work. You've done jump the hoops to get the retirement. So now it's kind of more, how do I put it? Like it could be for fun money.
Right.
I might go do something and go work one day, make $100 so I can go buy that pair of shoes. That's not you, but what I'm saying.
Right, right.
Because so, um, so it just seems like over like between now and the first of the year that's going on. And if I remember, like, you're waiting on was it your husband to retire, or is he still working?
He's still working.
Okay.
He's thinking about it.
Okay, because I feel like that's also part of that question, because for him it is he feels like he's really focused, like I have one more thing to do, one more project, one more thing to pay off. Does that make sense?
It could be. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a possibility. I have to ask him, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a worry. It's just I kind of feel like that's why he's, on and off delaying, I guess.
Right. Right.
There is going to be. Okay, well, we so the funny thing is, like, I just want to show there's like the Empress card comes up, and that is the card of, pregnancies and babies and stuff like that. And, I know for a fact that there's a new baby in your life. So that represents all of that. That's family, that's the nurturing, it's the baby and how excited everyone is and how everyone's happy. So, that's the positive, and I feel like with the Two of Cups that people are coming together. Everybody's coming together, supporting this child, and, solutions and problems are going to be solved. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we just got to work on your stress.
Doesn't everybody?
Right. But the stress card comes up, and so I really feel like you are still trying to find ways to kind of deal with some of it, and in maybe some healthy ways, that you might be taking up some new things like exercising, or, just things to help you with your stress. But it says you've got to get some sleep. And if you're like me, you're probably not.
It's balancing the situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. So any specific, we're gonna have Lou pull some cards for you, and then you can ask questions. How about that?
Okay.
All right, you want to pull, Lou?
Yeah, I've got pulled 5 cards. I got 3 that are the base of what's going on around you right now, and with that, I have the Lion, and this is my masculine lion. Most of my lion cards are feminine, but this one I really get a masculine feeling from. I have a koala, and then the coyote, which is kind of reminds me of the Fool in the tarot. So in the basis of what's going on with the lion and the koala is very much about family, taking pride in what's going on. With the koala, though, it's a lot about stability, because you have to hang on to that tree. And also it's about, what do you ingest? The koala what it eats doesn't give it a lot of nutrition, so it has to eat a lot of it. So for that, it's like, when I say digest, I don't just mean food. It's, the media, discussions, things that you really need to sit and think and digest. Don't take, words or actions at face value. Think about them. Maybe there was something else going on. Ask questions. Which brings us to the coyote, the wise fool. And again, he reminds me of the Fool card in the tarot deck, which is about potential, what can be. Because a lot of times there's a lot of wisdom that comes out in the silly things of life. Now, where you're going to end up here, I have the wild horse. And this horse is about freedom. He's about being able to have some time to kick up your heels and have some fun. Now,
Ooh.
yes.
That sounds good.
Now,
Yeah.
what we're going to have to get past, though, to get there, is the salmon and the and the panda. I'm sorry. Now, the panda gives me a little bit of pause, because whenever we have an animal that's black and white, there's a tendency for us to see all our options as binary. Yes, no, off, on, this, that. We lose track of the gray space in the middle of it. He's also another animal that doesn't get a lot of nutrition from his food, so he ends up having to eat a lot. So again, we're back to digestion. What are we eating? He also has a bit of creating sacred space energy around him. So, while you're thinking about things, while you're taking a step back and re-looking at what's going on, do that from a place of love. Now, the salmon, I love the salmon because in the Celtic mythology, salmon was the first animal ever created. When with that comes all the wisdom of the ages, similar to a tree. All the other animals would go to the salmon for advice. So you may find yourself, because you're taking time to look at things, to investigate what has been said, what has been done, people are going to be coming to you a little bit more for advice on, how do you keep that balance? How do you take that time, and you have to explain to them about your sacred space and how they can create their own sacred space. And that will get you, once you get all of that digestion, that creating that sacred space, you're going to find a lot more freedom in your life. I hope that makes sense for you.
Yeah, it does.
Do you have any specific questions?
I'm wondering about my oldest daughter, where she is mentally.
Okay.
How she's deserted the family.
Oh, okay. So, I was going to ask her date of birth, but you just tell me her astrological sign.
I'll tell you her date of birth, 9/4/91.
Okay. Well, with this Virgo energy, she's definitely been struggling. I mean, the Virgos, the Pisces, the Geminis and the Sag have been struggling for the past year, on and off. They've been getting these random hits, and so probably not really feeling the greatest for the holidays. I want to say that she, I don't feel like she could be remorseful. She could be feeling sad. It could be a combination,
Right.
I don't feel, though, I feel like she's just, I don't know where she gets the stubborn streak, but I feel like she's super stubborn.
Yeah, she is. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't understand that.
Yeah, okay, there it is. Well, so her moon is in Cancer, which is you. So she is especially sensitive to you, to your energies, right? She buries that energy. She takes it on. But her Mercury is in Leo and her Venus is in Leo. And her Jupiter is in Leo. So that is where that stubbornness comes in. And it's kind of interesting that I just wanted to point out that her natal Pluto is on your moon, which just says that there is some subconscious, she's a lot like you in the subconscious mind. So, so what bothers you, what gets to you is also what gets to her. So in order to deal with her, to maybe heal the situation, is to better understand what your buttons are with, like, your mother and father, because they may be the same buttons that she has with you. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, extreme opposites, though, when it comes to, my parents were just very toxic relationship into themselves, where Mike and I were very all about her and Bree all the time.
Yeah, you were. I remember that, but we still have to go a little bit deeper. So it's not just about, what was on the surface, but it's going to be the deeper things. All right. So we would hope that, I still see hurt feelings, bad feelings. I think in about there's some shifting of energies, I think, in about 5 months. So I feel that you may have a connection with her again. All right?
Okay.
So I do feel like we've got something going on. I think this has to do with Saturn. Now, we know that Saturn's opposing her sun sign, so she is going to lash out at anybody in authority to her. So that's, you and your husband. So, but then that's going to probably get substituted with other people soon. I do feel an influence, and it comes up in your reading here. There's an influence of someone around her. So there is someone that influences her too, and this is not you. It's somebody else, either in peripheral of the family, or her husband's family. I think she was married, is she married?
Well, she's engaged, last I knew.
Okay, all right. So it could be peripheral. So just also be aware that she seems to be subjected to some influences of some type that are not coming from you and your husband.
Right.
So I do feel your health is good, girl, and I feel like you're going to be busy. I think you're going to be super busy this spring and summer. Like
I'm looking forward to it.
Fun
I'm
stuff.
looking forward to not working and having that free, warm weather.
Yeah, I think you're going to do a travel. I think there's a trip. I stand on that. I feel like there's a trip. So
Good.
Okay.
Okay.
Did that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, it does make sense. It makes sense.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Any specific questions or anything else?
Just my second daughter. She's struggling, work-wise, and trying to settle into her new life. Where does she see the light coming from, sooner or later?
Yeah, we got to get through the next 3 months. I think she might even try to start back to work a little sooner than 3 months, but I feel like it's going to be 3 months getting on her feet, getting the finances together, that type of thing. And also, her health is okay?
Yeah, she seems to be doing well.
Okay, because I just kind of feel there. So watch any colds or flus this upcoming, like, next 2-3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just kind of keep an eye on those things. I think it's just kind of like, I feel like someone might get laid up a little bit. Not bad. This is not life or death. Okay, just
right.
So we just kind of, we're just gonna watch that a little bit. But no, I think so the baby's daddy is in the picture, yes?
I guess, but not right. You don't know when or how or when.
Okay, I think he's
basically not.
I see him stepping up to the plate by summer.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's going to help out a lot. All right.
All right.
Well, thanks so much for calling in.
Yeah,
It was
thank you.
great to have a guest. Do you have any godmother questions?
No. I'm okay.
Okay, awesome. Well, Sandy, thanks for
Thank
being
you.
brave and calling in on the podcast and sharing
No
your
problem.
energy with us today. We really enjoyed having you on, and
Most definitely.
yeah, and
you.
don't be a stranger, okay?
No, hope to see you. I'll run into you soon.
All right, awesome.
Take care.
Thank you. All
Bye-bye.
right,
Bye-bye.
Well, that was fun.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
I hope we can get somebody else to come on.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. We'd love to have people come on and give us a call. Call in and get a reading. You can get hold of us on gmail.com, Fairy Godmothers Pod, or Fairy Godmothers. Yeah, Fairy Godmothers Pod.
Fairy Godmothers Pod at gmail.com.
Yeah, or
you send us, there, or you can contact Elizabeth direct.
Yeah, through Facebook.
Or me.
Or, yeah. Right.
Or Fairy Godmothers Pod of Wisdom and Knowledge. You could, message us through there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and, we're out and about. We're all over the place. And, boy, we had a great weekend at the VFW.
Yes, we did.
Oh,
yes,
my
we did. It
gosh.
was wonderful.
We had a psychic fair, and we were slammed. And thank you, VFW. The guys at the VFW are wonderful.
They are.
It's a great venue. If you want to rent it, it's out there. So, anyway, you can get hold of me. Like I said, I'm out and about in the area. I appreciate everyone listening in today. And
They can go to your website, elizabethhowell.com, to sign up for your newsletter, and then you'll get notification of when the psychic fairs are.
yeah. And if you have any questions or you want topics, give us a ring.
Yeah, just get a hold of us. We'd be happy to do it.
Yeah.
We'd love it, actually.
Oh, and thank you, Reverend Cynthia, for being here.
Oh, I love it.
And we
Where else would I be?
probably laying out in the sun on the beach.
Oh, God, if only.
Anyway, and we want to thank BAT for sure.
Absolutely.
And
Okay.
so that's our podcast for today, and we'll catch you guys on the next trip.
Yep.